update. Am I the a-hole for kicking out my boyfriend's ex? Original post. I, 36 female, and my boyfriend, 42 male, have been together for 7 years. We have both been married and divorced before and like to be financially independent of each other and keep things pretty separate. What's mine is mine and what's his is his. I am CF. I've worked my butt up in my field and I'm comfortable. My boyfriend doesn't earn what I do. He pays a lot of child support too and contributes, as he should, to all of his 5 kids' after-school activities. So our deal between us is I pay all of our household bills / loans / food, and he looks after his kids and contributes what he can to our household. 5 years ago, I bought a home for us. I even went as far as buying a home that would suit his kids, so they would feel comfortable when they came and stayed with us. This caused a lot of drama. His ex felt that I was trying to buy the children, and in her words, she only got the house to rub in how much better she thinks she is. I have always kept my distance from his ex. It was a messy divorce for them, which she blamed on me, even though I didn't meet my partner until they've been separated for nearly a year. She has a history of DV towards him, and my presence makes it worse. 18 months ago, I got a great job opportunity, which would mean we would need to relocate 12 hours away from our current home. After discussions between my boyfriend and I, and my boyfriend and his ex, we agreed that we would make the move for my job and would rent my house to his ex for an incredible discounted rate with the agreement that this would only be for 2 years. Recently, my work circumstances have changed and we have relocated back to our hometown again. My boyfriend and I have found a small rental in the meantime. But since coming home, his ex has become more aggressive, particularly with me. She has told my partner the children have always hated me and were only nice because of him, but don't ever want to see me again. She has accused me of trying to buy the kids' love, making her look like a bad mother, and for basically being the root of all evil. Which is whatever to me. I do love the kids in my own way, but would hate to make them choose or feel uncomfortable by being around me. So we are making sure that my boyfriend spends as much time as possible with the kids and attends any sports or school events without me. And when I go away from work, they come to our house. I've suggested therapy or counseling, but the ex won't hear it, making it sound like I'm calling her bad mother for suggesting it. The 2 years is ending and I want my house back. Basically, the ex is saying if I'm rich enough to pay for a rental and pay a mortgage now, I should let her and the kids stay in the house. And since the kids now hate me, it would be a waste of space for just my boyfriend and I. And this situation is also leading to his kids telling my partner that they hate me even more for kicking them and their mother out of their home. My boyfriend is very torn. He just wants his kids safe and happy. Now for the top comments before reading the updates. Not the a-hole. It's your house. Don't let her manipulate you just because you can't afford it and she can't. Gives me the vibes of this lady I read in a magazine years ago. She won £1.4 million on the lottery, and people stole her car that she lent them because you can just buy a new one. Just because you can't afford a different house doesn't mean you owe this woman your house. Give her a month's notice, and you're gonna have to accept it if the kids are angry. You can't control how they feel, and if they're gonna be mad at you and not like you anyway, then that's up to them. They need to learn that they can't just walk over people and get what they want, which is what their mother is clearly teaching them. It was an incredibly bad idea to have the ex rent the house. From OP's POV, it was incredibly generous. Doesn't matter, the ex is always going to interpret everything the worst possible way. Now, OP is the bad guy for not simply giving the ex the house, which is utterly nonsense, but honestly predictable. OP needs to take back the house, but be ready for it to require an eviction and for the house to be torn up and OP to be depicted as the worst kind of person. OP is not a-hole, but she's terribly naive and has poor judgment. This was always a bad idea. OP, what are you getting out of this relationship really? Because this isn't going to end well, it will just get worse. Why are you financially supporting this guy who won't stand up for you? You claim he's working hard for both of you and the kids, but it doesn't seem that way. He has been letting his ex call all the shots in your relationship. Who are you in a relationship with? Him or his ex? You really don't need any of this. Once they're gone from your life, you'll feel a lot better. You're fighting a losing battle. Your boyfriend will never stand up for himself and call out his ex for parental alienation and other things going on. Don't you deserve better than this? You earn a ton of money. Enjoy your life. Stop worrying about kids who will continue to hate you. Trust me, this is only going to get worse. She's teaching them to be entitled to things that aren't theirs, yet treat the person they owe like trash. Therapy won't help when their mom is whispering in their ears. Not the a-hole, but the future looks pretty bleak with how things are going. They'll demand you for your money for college, weddings, down payments for their homes, baby-related stuff like baby showers, baby products, fertility treatments, and whatever else, while treating you like crap every step of the way. And your boyfriend will cave under every demand. The ex will egg it all on. Kick them out. Kick them all out and be free of them all. OP, what are you getting out of this relationship really? A loving and healthy relationship. As above, there are lots of complexities in a relationship that can't fit into a post, but I can safely say that I have a whole and fulfilling relationship. Everything written above does come off as I finance everything, which isn't wrong, but I can, and that's a choice I have made. I have only one living family member and no children, so I'm happy to help out my partner. I agree with some of the commenters here that it was a terrible idea to rent her in the first place, and I was truly naive thinking it would be appreciated by her. And honestly, if I could kick myself, I absolutely would. Isn't retrospect amazing? Lol. After some deep discussions and thought, we will be asking her to leave the house. We have a lease and agent in place, so they will handle that side of it. And my boyfriend understands the fallout. I just feel like guilt towards the children. None of this is their fault. Now for the update 4 months later. I've had some messages for an update on my original post, so if you're interested in the backstory, check out my profile. But ultimately, I wasn't the a-hole. I was the moron. After reading a lot of comments in my original post, I decided that while yes, I wanted my house back, I also didn't really love the idea of living in the house the nasty woman had lived in for longer than I. It didn't feel like my home anymore, and I really wanted my home to feel like my home. So I decided to sell. I spoke with my boyfriend and he was really non-committal on the situation but said it was my decision. I gave the ex the option to stay in the home and I would sell it as an investment property with a tenant or she could move out. She went with going absolutely batshit crazy and decided to out hers and my boyfriend's reignited emotional love affair. As it turns out, since my boyfriend and I have returned to our hometown, and I still have to leave town frequently for work, they had gotten close again. The ex sent me a load of screenshots of steamy messages/pictures and long-winded messages whinging about me and that maybe I would just let him have the house if my boyfriend and I separated, since I wouldn't need all that space. I obviously confronted my boyfriend and he looked incredibly panicked, but admitted to all and said that it was more of an emotional relationship and it had not turned physical, and that he was very, very sorry and embarrassed, and was only leaning on her for comfort because I was away a lot. He also misses his kids, and it felt emasculated by me a lot of time. There are plenty of other reasons and excuses not even worth mentioning. Needless to say, I'm now single. Have kicked him or her out and placed the house on the market for sale and have just put an offer on a cute little townhouse on the beach. I've downloaded a dating app tonight after a few wines and thought it was a good time to let Reddit know that most of you were right in my original post. Life isn't great, but I'm sure it'll be again one day. Felt emasculated by you? But it is completely okay and masculine when it comes to his batshit insane ex and baby mama? Well, damn. Hope he thinks it's worth it. It was all about the money. The main theme of the whingy messages was bloody money. Because I earned more, had more disposable income, also didn't have 5 kids. But what they both failed to see is, I work away 3 weeks a month for 12 hours a day to earn said money. The guy's a bigger idiot than I originally thought. No guy cares about their partner earning more or having more savings, unless there's a very, very good reason to be sketchy about it. In this case, his feeling emasculated about it ain't even close to a reasonable reasoning. But having a crazy chick going ham at every chance she can means that she would put me in a lot of embarrassing situations, and I would feel like walking on eggshells. Now that would be frustrating and emasculating. Honestly, he did you a favor here, and so did she. She exposed it, he confirmed it, and now you got 7 different kinds of headache and trash out of your life. You're better off for it. Yes, this is the update we needed. Can we have an update on if the cheating ex and his manipulative baby mama got back together? Are they struggling now that he hasn't got you paying for literally everything for him, and he now has to support 7 people again? I've been trying really hard to stay as oblivious as possible to their situation. Not really for them, but the kids. Despite what happened between me and their parents, I was a big part of their lives for years, and I do worry that they are now in an unsafe or unstable living situation due to their parents' stupidity/selfishness. So that part hurts to dwell on. But unfortunately, we live in a small town, so I do hear and see things. I was at a local market during the week and recognized one of the kids from a distance and hid. Sure enough, my ex was with her, so my assumption is they are together. It didn't really hurt to see them. It was like watching 2 people be so stupid, but knowing they're too stupid to see it. I'm glad you got rid of the deadweight. Do you know where they ended up? Not a clue. I'm not even sure if they're really together or not. After I confronted him about it all, I told him he could have the rental and I would find elsewhere to live. I left my real estate agent to deal with his ex, and told them some of the situation and that I didn't want to know anything other than when she was out of the house and when the house is sold. So far, I've been told she left the house mid-November. House went on the market mid-December. I've been staying willfully ignorant of their circumstances for my own sanity. Edit. Honestly, I'm a little bit emotional about how nice and supportive you are all being. I've been kicking myself stupid for the last few months about being so obtuse and people pleaser about the whole situation. I'm sure those comments will come, but I can promise everyone, no one is more critical than myself right now. Next story. Am I the a-hole for not inviting my kids to my wedding? I, 48 female, am getting married to a 39 male who never been married before. This is my second marriage. The first ended with my husband cheating on me and moving in with his mistress. He offered me a tidy sum to divorce him. I took that money and moved abroad where I met my now husband. My kids, 27 male and 25 female, are angry they were not invited to my wedding. They found out through my extended family that I'm getting remarried. I'm not in contact with them by choice. They kept trying to make me get along with my ex and his mistress. Apparently, I was to graciously roll over and accept their disrespect. I have no desire to be friends with my ex and mistress. We got divorced 5 years ago, so they were 23 and 20. They wanted me to be friends with my ex and his mistress. My ex wanted me to give my blessings for his relationship. Apparently, I was his best friend and he loved me as the mother of his children, but he was in love with his mistress. He was shocked when I no longer wanted to contact him. My kids thought I should forgive him and be friends. They went as far as to invite me to lunch or dinner with them and then surprise invite my ex and his mistress. They would host family events with their significant others and lie to me that ex would be earlier or later, so I did bump into him. Of course, he was always there. They cannot handle the fact that he and I are no longer in speaking terms and want us to get along. Am I the a-hole for not inviting my kids to my wedding? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. The way your children have behaved towards you so far, I would be worried that they wouldn't do something wrong at the wedding. Also, I still think it's pretty cold-hearted and selfish for your children and ex-husband to keep confronting you about your ex-husband's cheating and asking for your blessing? What the heck is wrong with them? Your kids are over 20 and should know better. I think they believe me blessing my ex's relationship absolves him of guilt. Their father still maintains I'm his best friend and mother of his children. Who would treat their best friend like this? People say my best friend when they really mean my best doormat. Not the a-hole. Sadly, it may take something like what happened to you to happen to them before they understand. Congratulations on your marriage. I hope they never go through the pain I went through. Thank you. I never thought I would get remarried, but he won me over thoroughly. Not the a-hole. Email something like this to your children. You weren't invited to my wedding because you don't respect my boundaries. On multiple occasions, you have ambushed me with your father's and the woman he cheated on me with's presence at events in which you assured me they wouldn't be there. Your father cheated on me, yet you criticize me and apparently absolve him of the wrongdoing that he did to me. I don't know how your ethical beliefs got so twisted, but this behavior is hurtful and wrong. I'm not in contact with you for those reasons. If you ever decide that there was no justification for your father's cheating and that I deserve to be treated in a loving and respectful way, I will happily welcome you back into my life. Not the a-hole. I was very ready to say you're the a-hole after reading the title. My father been remarried 3 times since our parents divorced, and neither myself or my sisters have ever been invited to any of the weddings, and we always thought we had a good relationship with our dad. If you're not in contact with them for your own mental health, then no, you're not required to invite them. A gentle reminder, you don't have to be the bigger person. You don't have to accept insincere apologies. You don't have to tolerate relationships that drain you. You don't have to spend your whole life showing up for people who have no interest in showing up for you. Last story. Am I the a-hole for telling my ex that her kids were not my problem or my son's problem? My ex, Tammy Lynn, tried to get me to give up my custody of my son so that her new husband could adopt him, and they could have a family that did not involve me. I refused. It cost me a lot of legal fees, but I got 50-50 custody of my son. Tammy Lynn and her husband had 2 kids together before she got sick, and a classic guy she left me for left her while she was dealing with cancer. My son was 14 when this happened, and he pretty much took over taking care of his half-brother and sister. It started to affect his schoolwork. I told him that he was a good kid for taking care of his siblings, but not at a cost of his own future. I talked to her about what was going on, and she said that she didn't want anything from her ex. She said that taking child support from him would let him get away and just pay money. I said I fully understood that sentiment, but that if she was going to put my son's future in jeopardy with her stupidity, then I was going to file for full custody and child support from her. She said I was being an a-hole for interfering in her marriage, and that I was still bitter from our breakup. I'm not. I'm happy with the life I have now. I was hurt when she left, and I did want her back at the beginning, but I'm over all that. Before you judge me, please know that she has money and her ex can afford child support. And that I don't think my kid should be working as an unpaid caregiver when he has homework and they can afford daycare and nanny. Not the a-hole. Seems like you're the only one currently advocating for your child, as you should. Navigating complex family dynamics, I prioritized my son's well-being over bitterness, ensuring he thrived despite the challenges thrown our way. Before you judge me, already wasn't judging you. You are 100% correct and not the a-hole. She birthed all those children, so she should take care of them, not your son. Or find someone who does it. It's okay if the older child help when asked, but it's not okay to make them play a parent. Those children have too. Their father should have them if their mother is too sick to take care of them. Not the a-hole. It's great that your kid wants to help his mom, but he's just a kid. He needs to do kid stuff and live a young person's life. Exactly. OP, push ahead with your plans for full custody. You should also contact Child Services to advise them about her parentification to strengthen your case against her. Not the a-hole.